Okay. Good morning. Today we'll be going over selecting a vendor for Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center, hereby referred to as BIDMC. My name is Hader Rita.
My name is Sydney Caneller.
And I'm Khadija Sisay.
So for our agenda today, we'll be going over an introduction, some background information about BIDMC, how we define success, the vendor selection, including the six components, and a conclusion. So BIDMC serves in a year 803,000 outpatient visits, 37,600 inpatient discharges, and sees around 47,780 ED visits in a year. Some conditions and treatments that they offer are diabetes, endocrinology, infectious disease, heart and vascular, cancer, tumor and blood oncology, as well as many more. So for defining success, a vendor is needed in order to support BIDMC's medical population, inclusive of their chronic and long-term conditions, as well as their interoperability required to support the patient's medical journey. Our aim is to select vendors that will help the hospital improve their quadruple aim, inclusive of health equity. This includes improving the patient experience, reducing the cost, improving the clinical experience and satisfaction, improving health outcomes, and of course, being inclusive to the health equity. Within the next few slides, we will review how the vendor we select can deliver these values to BIDMC. With the goal in mind from the previous slides, we selected Oracle Cerner as the hospital's vendor to enable those objectives, ultimately improving the overall healthcare delivery to the patients, as well as improving their clinical operations, while appropriately scaling the health system within the hospital's specific population. We hope that through our analysis, Oracle Cerner will not only be BIDMC's vendor, but rather a long-term partner. We will, in the next few slides, review our evaluation that brought us to the vendor selection, which includes the 6 critical factors stated by the American Medical Association.
Okay, so moving forward with the next step, it is choosing the essential or focusing on the essential steps in selecting a vendor. Starting off, it would be with the business aspect where the vendor does have financial stability and the organization, receives funding from the government and investors. With reimbursement rates, they do focus on fee for service and do play a role with the Medicare and Medicaid services and their hospital charges. It does have a knowledge for federal and private requirements, and also they have a commitment to diversity and healthcare equity. With BIDMC, it is a nonprofit organization, so majority of their revenue does come from investors, grants, or fundraising events. The medical center does consistently receive funding, and as they are usually ranked the highest nationally in terms of providing healthcare, and they are recognized by the NIH as well. They do usually receive about 150 million from the government in a year, while also the health organization is primarily funded by 2 investors that support their financial needs. Just to point out, one of their top investors, one of them is Society to Improve Diagnosis in Medicine, and the second is Massachusetts Life Sciences Center. Their commitment to diversity and healthcare equity is outstanding, as they offer programs to patients who may need financial assistance, and that is regardless of whether or not the patient is insured or not, or if they honestly just need the additional assistance in covering hospital bills. And as I mentioned, with the private care or CMS, they do follow their criteria closely and their regulations. And they also do work closely with private care as well. Moving with clinical validation, the vendor in this case does objectify the ability to improve clinical outcomes, also improving patient care, which in result does reduce spending. The vendor with Cerner, they do have a client which they have had clinical outcomes, which highlights their goal to improve patient care while reducing the spending of unnecessary bills and claims. And then moving forward with how the vendor does have have like alignment with the objectives of the health systems through the ever-evolving regulations and requirements. And we have attached a few peer reviews to use as well. And then final with usability, they do have a reputable user and patient experience in the healthcare industry. There are also dashboards, reports, and metrics displayed via the reporting portal, as well as lights on where there's customizable optimization efforts. Oracle does offer, again, products across the full suite of specialties, whether that can be infection control, lab, radiology with the emergency department as well, with many more, which again, in result, does mesh well with the hospital's patient population, while also offering billing applications that support accounts management, revenue cycle, and reimbursements. While many other product vendors do not offer much customization as much as Oracle does, it does allow the applications to be more inclusive and diverse in the way they are utilized and in result, more flexible to patient population. With final, again, with customer service, it is important to have a vendor that does prioritize customer service. And with this, Oracle does have a command center available, and it has go lives to offer escalated support to their clients. They do have support queues in place for triaging and addressing issues, as well as the vendor does offer customizable products to help integrate with existing workflows at a local level. So those are a few of the things that we have recognized and highlighted in terms of customer service with our vendor.
Moving along to our next component, we're going to talk about security here, which is very important in the healthcare industry, just to ensure that patient data is being protected and is following HIPAA. So here first, we can see that Oracle Cerner is HIPAA compliant. It also offers P2 Sentinel auditing for organizations and also third-party auditing processes. Oracle Cerner also does have enhanced security protocols as displayed on their federal contracts with the VA and the DoD. Each role and end user has login authentication whenever they are logging in to any of the applications offered by Oracle Cerner. And there are also consent and enrollment capabilities for patients, so they can pick and choose what pieces of their data goes outbound. And then finally here, Oracle Cerner does adhere to local regulatory compliance requirements as well. Next up, and finally, we have information technology. So it is important to note some of the key components that the Oracle Cerner vendor offers. First of all, we've discussed this in some of the previous slides, but it is customizable and offers some customization in the functionality and charting through this vendor. They also offer telehealth and interoperability products such as Resonance, Commonweal, and Care Quality Connections that help organizations to meet the promoting interoperability measures, which is put in place by CMS, and this will allow the hospital to ensure that they receive higher reimbursement rates. They also have a patient portal for increased patient access to their data. They maintain a patient identity across their platforms and also offer automation and increased efficiency of clinical workflows. And then, as mentioned previously, Oracle Cerner also spans and integrates across various departments such as acute, ambulatory, laboratory, radiology, and many more. And then finally here, it's also important to note that Oracle Cerner does ensure that robust testing scripts are in place to allow for successful implementations of their technology. So to wrap things up here, I wanted to revisit the defining success that we stated earlier and kind of recap the benefits that Oracle Cerner will offer. Oracle Cerner will help to improve BIDMC's quadruple aim in the care that they deliver. And additionally, a strong vendor such as Oracle Cerner will help to increase the continuity of care, help overcome clinical shortages, increase efficiencies via clinical workflows, and then improve interoperability. All of this ultimately helps health systems and physicians practice and focus more on chronic disease and infectious disease management, as well as enhance patient wellness, improve quality of care and patient clinical relationships, and then finally increase patient satisfaction as well. These benefits overall will positively impact BIDMC's patient population and the care that they receive. So with that being said, we want to thank you so much for joining today and hope you have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.
Thank you.